you are. Fabulous little studio. The neighbors are not going to bug you for practicing here. You can do whatever you want, day or night. So, what kind of practice schedule do you have?
Well, nowadays, I don't have the time, especially when I'm traveling, on tour, playing concerts. You're spending so much of the day just traveling from one place to the next. So the normal practice routine's not there, but I always do a warm-up routine for any concert, and that could be from anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes. And then if I'm playing, I mean, that's almost a form of practicing, even if I'm performing, because I'm not doing it out of habit. I mean, I'm really paying attention to everything, and it's a learning experience when I'm playing a gig. Oh wow, that happened. What'll happen if I do this or that? Playing music is all about paying attention, and that's what I was saying earlier about really listening to music. It's really about paying attention. When you pay attention, then you learn in life. You know, and so that's all I ever ask of any of my students or my own children or any musicians I'm working with. Pay attention, because life is great. You don't pay attention to it, you're not getting it.
That's a good point. Good point.
But when I practice here in my studio, it might be in preparation for a job that's coming up, and then I'll practice, certain things, specific things that I know will be part of the job. Sometimes on the drums, this will sound funny, I practice long tones. I just hit the cymbal and wait a while and hit it again, and I listen to the sound I'm getting. So music is not just about mechanically being able to blow a note or hit it, but what does it sound like? And so we work on the sound, and we work on the spacing of the rhythms, and then you start adding the ideas. Well, this note, now what note comes after it, and why, and what should come after that, and what kind of feeling does that give the music? What kind of feeling does that give to me? What kind of feeling might that give to the listener? There's a reason when you're watching a TV show or a movie, kids, and all of a sudden you feel that goosey bumpy, or the hairs on your arms kind of stand up, or you feel sad and you want to start crying. You try watching that movie without the music, most of the time you won't feel that emotion. It's the music that triggers it. And certain chords, certain harmonies, certain combinations of notes, the use of counterpoint, all these musical techniques that give feeling and meaning to things in our lives.
Now, I've got a question about, you had, or someone made for you, a very special drumstick, your own drumstick.
The Vic Firth Company. Oh gosh, like I set you up here. I'm wearing the shirt.
I want to know about that drumstick, because our researchers went out, we bought your drumstick, and we noticed that the head on your drumstick was a little bit different than the head on all the other drumsticks.
Well, there's two drumsticks that have my name, and the one that you're referring to might be the first model, which had a very small round bead, and I didn't really have much to do with that one, except that the Vic Firth, the drumstick maker, came to me. And the interesting thing about a round tip bead or mallet, round bead tip, is that it pretty much sounds the same no matter what angle you strike the instrument.
Okay.
All right, because it's the same surface. And this was kind of a transitional period. I found this useful as I was trying to learn how to play it. So I was in my 30s and I was wanting to relearn how to play the drums. Then I got a different tip, which was a little more of like a
the long. That's the one that.
Okay. Tear-shaped tip. And this stick was a combination of. It was about 2.5 years of work, and basically, the designer and I just kept looking at about 6 or 7 different stick designs. Well, I like this part of this stick, but I like this other part of this other stick. And then we tried morphing them together, just like in a computer program.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
add the eyes and nose of one person to the face of another. And they were clumsy, they were awkward, but then at one point I said, we'll just add a little more weight near the end of the stick, because the balance is real important in the way that the stick throws, the way that
Mhm.
when you do that arc of the motion of moving your hand and your wrist, and the stick comes down to play the cymbal or the drum. Well, all of a sudden, all the elements were right.
Mm-hmm.
And when they sent me that prototype, that latest adjustment, as soon as I held it in my hand, I knew we had it. And I played like 2 beats, and I called the guy up and said, lock this design in, we found it. And it's a terrific stick, and people really, really like it. It makes playing easier somehow.
Now, when you play on your rider cymbal with that special stick,
With the ride cymbal?
uh-huh. Now you're able to really control dynamics to a large extent. Is it because of that stick, or is it a combination?
You know, when you play any percussion instrument, let's say when you play the drums, you're using, your hand, you're holding the
Mhm.
stick in your hand. Your fingers are kind of guiding the stick, your wrist is doing some of the movement, your arm is doing the movement. Are you moving from the elbow? Are you moving from the shoulder?
Mhm.
How much of your body are you putting into it? There's a chain of kind of relationships. And the whole idea is, when I hold a stick, it's as if I'm holding a live bird in my hand.
Oh boy.
If I hold it too tight, I'll hurt the bird.
Mm-hmm.
If I hold it too loose, bird's going to fly away. But if I have just enough of the fingers wrapped around, but not squeezing tight, the bird is comfortable there. And so it's likewise with the stick. I don't want to choke that stick. That stick is alive. The wood can vibrate. It's part of the sound. Everything vibrates. That's how drums make the sound. The head vibrates. The shell of the drum vibrates. The room vibrates. It's all about vibration. If you hold something too tight, then you're choking that.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't feel good.